be from the VI, a place of history like the African side, yeah. St. Thomas and St. John and St. Croix, nothing can come between us but the waters that divide, yeah. Even though we're just a few square miles, I travel around the world with Virgin Island pride, yeah. A lot of people still going through strife, and still we live a joyful life. That's why the place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Croix full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. We got so much to lose, yet so much to prove. Hey. Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama sent me school. Hey. When it's difficult, we still a push through. No matter what the blessings of we continue. We are a people of great value. That's why we stick together like tamarind stew. I remember Queen Mary, we make the fire burn, and Edward Blyden with the Africa vision. Remember St. John with the slave rebellion. General Butler say emancipation. That's why the place nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Croix full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, we got so much to prove, yet so much to lose. Hey, Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama sent me school. Yeah. St. Croix produced the band Midnight, and them the kind of roots make the fire ignite, yo. Julian Jackson was a champion in the ring, and now him three son them a do the same thing, yeah. Tim Duncan come from the VI, one of the greatest, and the world can see why, yeah. If you ever ask me where I'm from, born in the Virgin Island, and the whole place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Croix full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. The Virgin Islands nice, so nice, so nice. Rock City sweet and nice, so nice, so nice. Twin City full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. Love City a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, I'm so proud to be from the VI, a place of history like the African side.
Of the day. From the water to the pot to your mouth, everything is fresh at Catch of the Day, located on Cookie Point Beach. Enjoy some of your favorite seafood dishes, fresh catch, lobster, tongue, and whelks when in season, as well as surf and turf. They cater to your wishes. While you sit and wait for your food, enjoy the friendly bar and bask in an ambience that is second to none. Enjoy the white sand, sun, and crystal blue water. We are sure the experience will be unique. Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come and enjoy Catch of the Day on Cookie Point Beach. our gas and grocery store. Your number one convenience store, located across from Vitraco Park. You name it, and they have it. From electronic accessories to your favorite drinks. And from gas to groceries. You name it, and they have it. First stop 24-hour gas and grocery. Located across from Vitraco Park. Check it out. Your favorite store for gas and grocery.
Virgin Islands nice, so nice. Sure. I'm so proud to be from the VI, a place of history like the African side, yeah. St. Thomas and St. John and St. Dry, nothing can come between us but the waters that divide, yeah. Even though we're just a few square miles, I travel around the world with Virgin Island pride, yeah. A lot of people still going through strife, and still we live a joyful life. That's why the place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Croix full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. We got so much to lose, yet so much to prove. Hey. Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama send me school. Hey. When it's difficult, we still a push through. No matter what the blessings of will continue. We are a people of great value. That's why we stick together like tamarind stew. Hey. Remember Queen Mary, we make the fire burn, and Edward Blyden with the Africa vision. Remember St. John with the slave rebellion. General Butler say emancipation. That's why the place nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Croix full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, we got so much to prove, yet so much to lose. Hey, Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama send me school. Yeah. St. Croix produce the band Midnight, and them the kind of roots make the fire ignite.
Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. You've been working, but you're flirting with the weekend. You can freak out. 1 in a million. You're a gem shine when the light grows dim. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. We got the right stuff. We put the hammer right down. Wanna be like us? You better stick around. If you want it, you gotta prove it. Like we do it, like we do it.
Boy, Virgin Islands nice, so nice. Sure. I'm so proud to be from the VI, a place of history like the African side, yeah. St. Thomas and St. John and St. Dry, nothing can come between us but the waters that divide, yeah. Even though we're just a few square miles, I travel around the world with Virgin Island pride, yeah. A lot of people still going through strife, and still we live a joyful life. That's why the place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Croix full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. We got so much to lose, yet so much much to prove. Hey. Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama send me school. Hey. When it's difficult, we still a push through. No matter what the blessings of will continue. We are a people of great value. That's why we stick together like tamarind stew. Hey, remember Queen Mary, we make the fire burn. And Edward Blyden with the Africa vision. Remember St. John with the slave rebellion. General Butler say emancipation. That's why the place nice. So nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice. So nice, so nice. St. Cry full of pure vibes. So nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise. So nice, so nice. Hey, we got so much to prove, yet so much to lose. Hey, Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama send me school. Yeah. St. Cry produce the band Midnight. And them the kind of roots make the fire ignite, yo. Julian Jackson was a champion in the ring. I know him 3 son, them a do the same thing, yeah. Tim Duncan come from the VI. One of the greatest and the world can see why, yeah. If you
Good morning. I say a wonderful good morning to the people of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Good morning to all Virgin Islanders out there. I'm getting a little bit of feedback here again, but I'm not sure where it's coming from. But certainly, we'll get it corrected shortly. I don't know, yeah. I'm getting feedback in my headset. And I don't know where it's coming from.
I don't have nothing up over there.
Huh?
Yeah,
you could check on that side and see. Well, good morning to everyone in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Good morning to all of you abroad. Those of you who are in living in different places. I don't want to start calling names. I don't want to call California, Atlanta, or Georgia, Florida, and the list goes on, because I have people that listen to this program all the way up to Canada. In fact, I understand that in even some foreign countries where we have folks living, they're actually tuning into the program every morning, every Monday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. because I'm here every Monday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. You know, the United States is quite interesting. The United States have more observant days than any other nation on the planet. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why the United States have so many observant days. But guess what today's date is? Today's day is, what observant day it is, and it's quite interesting because, when you think about it, it's really amazing that today, the observant day is, what do you call it again? The National Chocolate Ice Cream Day. Observance Day, of course. National Chocolate Ice Cream Day. I wonder who thought of that. That's quite interesting, but it is what it is. They have several observant days for the year, and certainly this is significant for some people that today is such an observance day. I'm getting this feedback, and I'm wondering where it's coming from, and I'm quite sure that you folks out there can hear it as well. And I'm not sure where this feedback is coming from. But it's a little annoying for me this morning to have to deal with that type of feedback. Rob, I don't know where that feedback could be coming from, but I'm hearing it and it's loud in my headset. Anyway, moving on with the updates. You got horse racing in St. Croix, and of course the arrangement that was just recently worked out was for St. Croix to have horse races, and then they'll get around to St. Thomas. And of course the original agreement, I'm just wondering in terms of whether or not the Senate authority was usurped to the point where they approved an agreement before that consisted of developing horse racing on both or in both districts. And at the stroke of a pen, the governor decided that you'll have horse racing. We're going to kind of split up or ignore the existing agreement, but that's another subject left for discussion. And I guess when it moves forward, we'll see exactly how it evolves and what materializes. But I know a lot of folks are looking forward to even carnival races both places. And hopefully they'll get this together, get the matter resolved, and get horse racing back where it used to be. Vaccinations here in the Virgin Islands, folks. I went and got my vaccination, and I know that people are still reluctant about getting this vaccination, but when you're dealing with a couple of things, I travel quite often, and in traveling, I'm exposed to a lot of things, and I just don't want it to be a situation where I encounter or get exposed and then bring it back to the Virgin Islands in any way, although we are required to have tests upon re-entry. Still, I just want to make sure I have a 94-year-old mother home that I wouldn't want to expose her in any way. And she had her vaccination even before me. She went and made sure she got her vaccinations. So folks, I think, you have a choice. People have a choice. A lot of people out there are still apprehensive when it comes to getting a vaccination. But I believe that, with science being what it is today, I'm sure that that the vaccinations have been tested to the extent that it's in fact effective to some degree. Because when you look at the different vaccinations, you have one that is 92%, another one that is as high as 98%, and I'm not sure. This thing with this feedback, I don't know where it's coming from, but something is obviously wrong here, and we're not being able to identify exactly what it is, but it's annoying to me. And it's stimulus checks. Folks, I'm wondering if everyone have been receiving their stimulus at this time, because I'm not hearing anyone saying that they received their stimulus checks, but I did hear folks complaining about not receiving stimulus checks here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And let's hope that everyone has been able to receive their stimulus checks, those who qualify to receive it, of course, receive their stimulus checks, because that's more money into circulation in the Virgin Islands. And that is a good thing, because it would keep monies going into the coffers one way or the other. Because if folks that receive stimulus checks go out, patronize businesses, and businesses are paying that 5% gross receipt taxes, Of course, the money is being circulated to the extent where it's going back into the coffers. The legislature debated this issue of a 2-year budget. And I've heard folks saying that it's unprecedented. I've heard folks saying that it's been done before. But in the financial world, let me just say this, and especially when it comes to public administration, one of the standard things that you don't want to buck, as I would say, or change, is when it comes to budgets and really financial picture and getting things in financial order. There's forecasting, and the list goes on and on. There is what you call a fiscal year. So the minute you start to buck the system, and you go with a 2-year budget, unless it's politically driven, what you're actually doing is you're suspending, and in some instance you're usurping the authority of the legislature. If the legislature decide to acquiesce to it and allow you to have a 2-year budget, you don't have to come back next year in an election year for any kind of scrutiny, to answer any questions, to go through the budget process, which some people feel that the budget process can be very cumbersome, and it's just a long process, but it's a process that the legislature use to scrutinize government departments and determine whether or not they've been on a good spending course or spending patterns, trying to determine if they've been accountable. And certainly it's transparency that you're trying to preserve. So if you relinquish a year and you say a 2-year budget, I would say to the Senate, be careful with that one. Moving along, striving for good health. Folks, there's a lot of people, we've seen a lot of people that we know, as the older we get, the more people we see dying today. And of course, a lot of people are experiencing different health problems because they're not maybe doing some of the right things to maintain good health. Good health practices like what you eat, exercise every once in a while. And incidentally, I just started to do some walking round in the neighborhood, round and round, and doing my miles, because I realized I have to trim off some of this weight, that cooking and these different restaurants that I've been to. And as you could see the advertisement, for those of you on Facebook who was able to see the advertisement, see who the sponsors were. For my listeners out there, it's Catch of the Day. You got First Stop Gas Station, and there's the new edition of the Meetup. I don't know if any of you have been to the Meetup, but on Sundays they have local food, and I was really surprised the type of local dishes they have. Saltfish, curry chicken, oxtail, and the list goes on and on with the local dishes. But it's like some dishes to die for. And I was so surprised that they had all these dishes and they're mixing it up. But the food there is extremely good. And ask for your friendly chef that you would find in the back, in a guy named Struggle. Boy, he cooks a mean steak. I know it's not everyone out there that eats steak, but he also cooks a good fish, like snapper, yellowtail, and the list goes on again. But it's definitely a place that you would enjoy. And last but not least, before we move on to the subject this morning, and that is the ArcLight Capital Partners LLC and all the publications that have been circulating. ArcLight, the environmental issue that they have on St. Croix that stopped the refinery side of the operations. And folks, health is everything. The people of the Virgin Islands have a right to clean air and clean water because it's a fundamental right. And I think it needs to be protected at all costs, by all means. And of course, we're hearing a deafening silence from some folks in the administration that do not want to comment on it, because again, we weigh in on economics over health. And that is a thing that we have to be careful with, because we have to provide that balance. So let's hope that these folks are able to resolve this issue. In the meantime, you have pending class action suits that are forging forward, and we're hoping that there will be some resolution as a result of all these different measures, or all these different claims that are coming forward. So on that note, in shifting over to the other subject that we have here this morning, it's banking and insurance in the Virgin Islands. The state of banking and insurance in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And it's just something that we have to take, carefully weigh in on. Because when you go around the Virgin Islands, and I'm not just talking about St. Thomas, I'm talking about St. Croix, I'm talking about Ward Island, I'm talking about St. John, I'm talking about the territory. When you go around and you traverse different areas, you visit different neighborhoods, you're seeing scars from 2 hurricanes that we actually experienced. Irma, Maria, and there's a third disaster that we've been confronted with on the heel of everything. And that third disaster is a crisis, the pandemic, COVID-19, that comes on the heel. So you see, the Virgin Islands and Virgin Islands people are in a very precarious situation after trying to recover from 2 Category 5 hurricanes. So the reason I brought the subject up this morning, don't have a guest this morning, but wanted to discuss banking and insurance, is because the questions that we have to ask is insurance affordable in the U.S. Virgin Islands? Because I know some of you, many of you, especially homeowners, have been seeing the rising costs in insurance. And of course, the insurance company reserve the right to be able to increase the premiums because of the level of claims that they may have paid out in the previous years. So in trying to recoup some of those monies that was paid out or remain solvent, they're perhaps charting the course of increasing the prices or the premiums here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And then you ask about banking. Is banking practices fair to Virgin Islanders? And I just have a group of questions here that I'm just going to pose there for the public. When you call in, you tell me what your experience have been with insurance and banking. Is the Lieutenant Governor's office protecting the insured? Did banks provide flexibility for mortgage holders in post-hurricanes and pandemic crisis? What are the pros and cons? Is there an insurance crisis? What concerns exist regarding banking and insurance in the U.S. Virgin Islands? And I'm bringing those things up because as I drive around in Anna's Retreat, you see all these homes. I've driven all the way down Contant, Bordeaux, and I'm still seeing homes in disrepair. And I'm just wondering whether or not even the Lieutenant Governor's office, did they assemble or try to create a task force to really go out and see how residents can be assisted, those that continue to even live under TOPS? Because I've seen TOPS on homes throughout the Virgin Islands still. We're in 2021, mid-year 2021, June, and we're in another hurricane season. And I'm just wondering, in terms of the movement, the activity, the level of compassion for Virgin Islanders, whether or not we're seeing any movement and any great concern for the level of individual or the number of individuals that just remain under homes that are still in disrepair. And of course, why are some of those homes in disrepair? Because maybe the homeowners could not even afford the insurance. And I'll tell you, I'm just really disappointed that I'm not seeing the movement. I'm not seeing that effort being made to really craft something that can really reach the residents of the Virgin Islands and afford assistance. And in the same vein, I have reached out to the Lieutenant Governor, and he hasn't called me back, but I've left him a message. And I wanted to invite him to the program and was hopeful that he would return my call and maybe appear on the program this morning to talk to us about the number of individuals out there, if he's paying close attention to it, what is being suggested, what is on the horizon, what is going to be offered to provide the assistance to Virgin Islanders that they truly deserve. What is going on with the Insurance Guarantee Fund? I mean, there's a lot of different agencies or sections under the Lieutenant Governor's office. We could get into property taxes, cadastral, and go on and on. But this morning, I just thought it was important to talk about banking and insurance. You know, I saw the Lieutenant Governor sent out a press release on June 2nd. June 2nd, mind you, June 2nd. We're in hurricane season. And you're talking and advising the people of the Virgin Islands, property owners, that the amnesty is going to be over. The amnesty is going to be over. What does the amnesty mean? That's the period of time that you can go in and maybe pay your property taxes, not be subject to any additional fees or charges attached to those property taxes, and negotiable. But the question that I have to ask is, where is the notices, press releases concerning how you approach or what type of assistance, what is the strategy to really help Virgin Islanders whose homes are in disrepair, who are having challenges with paying insurance, mortgage insurance, and the list goes on. So those are the questions this is the subject that I wanted to pose this morning, because I think a lot of Virgin Islanders would like to know what is going on. So at this time, what I'd like to do is open up the lines. Anyone want to call? The number here to WSTA is 340-774-1340 here at WSTA. And the subject we're discussing this morning, as I indicated, is the status of banking and insurance in the U.S. Virgin Islands. There's a lot of aspects. I mean, I'm sure that when you look at the insurance and insurance afforded for all types of different property, I could reflect or just try to broach the subject even in the marine industry. The amount that perhaps them yachts have to be insured for, the amount that these insurance company have to cover every aspect of the marina, and you know, it's just across the board. All the different properties and individual insurance that has to be realized. And if these companies going through 2 natural disasters, and I'm wondering, correct me, I would like to know, what is the cap or the minimum amount that should be or remain in the Insurance Guarantee Fund at this time? Because you see, the legislature in their wisdom over the years have actually extended line of credit for the administration to be able to bridge the gap and shortages or budget shortfalls in particular fiscal years, and they've used the Insurance Guarantee Fund as a guarantee or as collateral in being able to borrow. But you realize that the Insurance Guarantee Fund, and especially that hurricanes today are more volatile than they've been in past years, that minimum amount in Insurance Guarantee Fund should be higher. It used to be 50 million. I believe they reduced it to 30 million because they were actually using as a benchmark that the Insurance Guarantee Fund did not have to pay out any significant amount of money, and certainly nothing in excess of 50 million or close to $50 million. But that's not the point. The point is being ready at all times. So if you're protecting the residents of the Virgin Islands in the event that an insurance company go insolvent, that they are able to recoup their claims, what they deserve from the years of paying premiums, then it would behoove the administration to make sure that the Insurance Guarantee Fund has that level of funding in it and prepared in the event of any disaster. So, folks, I want to apologize for those of you who are calling I was on my soapbox, but I'm now off my soapbox and just want to hear from you guys what you guys have been experiencing. So I'll go to the telephone call. Telephone. Good morning. You're on the air. Connect the dots.
Yes, sir. Good morning. If I could say so myself, the dots are immeasurably connected. The daily news today regarding WAPA. It's not a surprise to me because this going to go on until the end of time, until somebody find the fortitude, the intestinal fortitude. You know, the government somehow enmeshed himself into WAPA so close that it makes, You're saying something?
No. I'm listening to you.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
you're coming through loud and clear.
Yeah, okay. It makes one wonder. If I was on the board of WAPA, there's no way in the world the governor was going to be talking so much on behalf of WAPA.
Yeah.
Well, why don't he, on behalf of them now, and they don't allow such a thing to be printed? How much more, oh my Christ, how much more higher rates they expect the people of the Virgin Islands to pay? And I keep using stateside, and people say, hey, stateside. Well, then if you want to spend money and pay it and shut your... I said I pay 13 cents a kilowatt hour, and 11 cents in West Palm Beach. It's going to be reduced to 9. 18 cents a kilowatt hour in Houston, Texas. That's going to hold for now. But yet, when we had a problem back there during the storm and the system wasn't weatherized, what did we do? Fire the entire company that was dealing with it. Well, we don't fire nobody. We keep hiring, bringing in all kind of clown. And I'm not talking about the lower echelon employees, please. You all remember that. I'm not talking about that. There's some good engineers that went away on the Alva McFarlane Scholarship, men and women, girls and boys on the back. But I am talking about the top 1%, those making, and they don't tell me nobody what to make 300,000. I'm saying yes. You make 250 and they put in more on it. For this, for that, for every time you smile, they give you a raise. They go get up to 300,000, okay? But apparently we like it so. Now, if you could tell me how in the name of God now they expect Doc Cole and his group over there to go ahead and approve this thing for WAPA. Just for WAPA don't fall down. Fall down? Pansy, please help us out with this thing. You know enough people stateside and company, and help us out with this thing. Please.
Well, I mean, I could...
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for calling, okay?
No, say what you were saying.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that, I have no problems offering my expertise, but it's whether or not an administration would even entertain it. Because I think that going back to even when I believe it was the delegate to Congress that made a statement on what they felt that it should do with WAPA. I said during that period that something needed to be done. However, I had looked at the possibility of even embracing a co-op where the employees could have a vested interest in reorganizing, of course, first. And once it would have been reorganized, that them buying shares in the company and owning that company as well, that maybe we could place it with the infusion of the money when you open it up to public trading.
That's a good way. Yeah.
And that infusion of funds coming in now could have been the infusion of funds that they needed to start going through a different transition with rehabilitation. But let me step back a little bit. I always felt that fossil fuel, we understood that the utility was using fossil fuel coming from the refinery on St. Croix. And the cost for the fuel, of course, was becoming exorbitant or expensive. But the transition to the propane now anything that is a hot commodity will rise in cost. So you could anticipate that the propane would go up in cost. And of course, it's the ratepayers ultimately have to pay for the fuel costs.
True, Fancy, but didn't they say when I said they're talking about the board, the governor, and a couple of them, that with the propane usage, then the cost will go down per kilowatt hour?
Well, that's what they said. I didn't see it that way, and the truth is coming to light. And when you
Well,
look,
my price.
I mean, that's a separate discussion this morning. I want to come back to the issue of banking and insurance because that's what we really discussing
that's
this
what you was
morning.
answering. Oh, I'm sorry. I was
so,
aware.
so obviously you may have tuned into the program a little late or didn't hear what the subject was this morning, but that's okay. This program is to really entertain concerns that people have when it comes to the quality of life in the Virgin Islands. And if we can't get those rates under control and even have true reduction in rates, the quality of life in the Virgin Islands is going to continue to diminish. But I have another call coming.
Let me go and I'll listen. But let me just say this if I can.
Yeah.
I would like one day, if it is at all possible, to be on your show. Because I know I don't mind ruffling feathers. I don't mind not walking or stepping up people.
Okay, call me off the air so we could discuss that. And I have no problem with arranging it because I know you have experience. Okay?
Okay, very well.
Okay, thanks for calling. You have a wonderful day.
I'll be listening.
Okay. Morning, you're on the air. Connect the dots.
Yeah, man. Listen, Fancy, I still is in the insurance, right?
Yeah.
From back end you go. I still out did not collect $77,000 up for now. And they pay off everybody else's insurance out to the same insurance guarantee fund except Phoenix and Fire. Up to now, $77,000 I don't agree.
Wow. So you said that had to do with what? Insurance?
Yes.
I didn't hear you clearly.
From the insurance guarantee fund from back in Hugo. It was always there.
Okay.
Everybody's insurance who went under get paid off totally except a very few of us who was in Phoenix and Fire insurance.
Okay.
I don't see fair at all.
And that was when the insurance company went insolvent?
Yes. A couple of insurance companies went insolvent, then in Hugo. And from there on, they straightened up because a lot of them was messing around with the money and whatnot.
Yeah.
Instead of reinsuring, they was messing with the money and doing other things for themselves. And they get caught that way.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I am one of them who, up to now, $77,000 I did not collect. I collect some money, yes, but never collect all my money. And what I'm saying is unfair. The rest of the insurance, them who went bankrupt, they was paid off totally from the same insurance guarantee fund.
Well, you know the insurance guarantee fund is for that, to protect the insured. If the insurance company go belly up, the insurance guarantee fund, because of the monies that are paid into that insurance guarantee fund, that is supposed to be always there in the event that any of the insurance company go insolvent, that they're able to satisfy all the claims that was not covered by the insurance company.
It's only a few of us now from Phoenix and Fire from way back then that did not every penny that he was owed. Only a few of us. Everybody else from the different insurances was paid off totally from the insurance guarantee fund except a few of us.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that at all.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's no statute of limitation on that request to the insurance guarantee fund. So maybe you should have a follow-up letter to them to let them know that you weren't compensated for the level of damages, or you weren't covered on the level of damages that you actually experienced.
Yeah.
Okay?
Anyway.
So I don't think there's no statute of limitation.
Okay, man.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Good.
You see, folks, and that's exactly my point. I indicated this insurance guarantee fund. We have to make sure that it's protected, that there's a minimum amount there, because you listen to these scientists talking about the formation of hurricanes and hurricane season. We already got or experienced the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario was Irma and Maria. I hear Puerto Rico and elected officials in Puerto Rico talking about the level of damages in Puerto Rico and that they were hit by 2 Category 5 hurricanes. No, the U.S. Virgin Islands was really hit directly by 2 Category 5 hurricanes. And whether or not that argument makes a difference in the level of funding that we get in the Virgin Islands, it all depends on how your public officials shape that argument and shape the requests. But certainly this issue with banking and insurance is so important as we go in to another hurricane season. And you ask yourselves, God forbid that we experience more hurricanes. Could you imagine the number of residents out there who are still living under tops, and the number of individuals out there whose homes are just basically compromised and may not be able to even withstand another hurricane, and not to mention may not even have disaster insurance or insurance in place to make sure that they're protected or they're able to get their homes rebuilt. So the question that we ask, is the insurance affordable for residents of the Virgin Islands? And I think that this is something that would require a task force to do a complete evaluation and come up even with a strategy in how to feel that residents of the Virgin Islands can receive some level of relief, because I don't think that they're really receiving any level of relief. And for some, they may not think this is not important, but I find it to be extremely important, because if you place or you allow for residents' lives to be placed in peril, because that's what would happen. Do you realize that after the 2 hurricanes, that the level or the percentage of homelessness went up? What is homelessness? Homelessness is not only the folks that find themselves on the street destitute. Homelessness is a person that is forced to live with someone else as well. And there were a lot of folks who were forced to live with other people. And that in itself have its challenges. So we have to start figuring out, in terms of banking and insurance, how we can provide a different playing field for the residents of the Virgin Islands, because I truly believe everyone that owns a home want insurance, unless there's some first-class contractor who can cover any damages that he have and rebuild his house. But it's not everyone that is fortunate or in such a fortunate situation. And again, I'm going to reach out to the Lieutenant Governor again to ask him and invite him to the program. I don't think he should have any fear in coming on this program, because it's just simply pointed questions that are formulated from residents of the Virgin Islands who fall within a category, who were affected as a result of maybe banking issues or insurance issues. And those are relevant and significant issues to discuss. Those are pressing issues. So, folks, the number to call here at WSTA, for those of you who had experiences, I'm giving you the platform. I'm giving you an opportunity to express yourself. And I'm sure that the administration is listening to everything that is being discussed here on this program, Connect the Dots. Because if you notice, the dots that I was connecting this morning was the Insurance Guarantee Fund, the minimum amount, where and who has the authority to determine under cap, or the minimum amount that shall remain in that account. Because you see, the excess, and I'll go years back, when the minimum amount was $50 million, anything in excess of that actually was used in one instance to fund special projects under the Lieutenant Governor's office. So we need to know what the minimum amounts are, and of course, we're talking about transparency to know exactly what's going on. Yes, we understand that during this pandemic, we have seen a slowdown. That much money is not coming into the coffers. We understand all of that. But what is the plan to make sure that insurance remain affordable? Because if you have Virgin Islanders being hit from every direction, high costs in utility rates, high costs in food, they had an increase in grocery taxes. Businesses are being impacted negatively with high electrical bills. The little mom and pop who are retirees on fixed income are being hit from every direction. So if we can't get a handle on this, what happens to the quality of life? What will be the standard in the Virgin Islands in the coming years? Are we prepared in the midst of another hurricane season? We need to evaluate banking and insurance in the Virgin Islands and come up with a strategic plan to really address this issue, to make it affordable for a majority, not a few. Because you see, it's a few who could afford it to pay regardless of what the increases are. We know that. We understand that. But we're venturing or arriving the point where there will be no middle class. There will be an upper class and a lower class. And, of course, the lower class suffers because if they can't afford for insurance and they're having issues with banks and we don't see the flexibility, I want to engage folks from the banking industry to find out exactly in terms of the flexibility, and hopefully in the near future I'll be able to do that, because we understand business must go on and there must be a business model, a structure in place in order for the business to stay afloat. And I'm talking about banking, and I'm also talking about insurance. Insurance in the Virgin Islands, is it affordable? Why are so many Virgin Islanders today, all these homes, and I wish I had a video to share it even with folks that are abroad so they can see the derelict, the number of homes that remain in total disrepair or partial disrepair, and people just can't afford to pay for the insurance or pay for general repairs. You could drive around and I'll give you closest to home, Anna's Retreat, Tutu. When I see the number of homes in Tutu, some under tops, many homes compromised, and many homes in disrepair, is there a unintended system being put in place for people to lose their properties and others to be buying up these properties? We got to be careful, because it's a dangerous dynamic that is taking place. Let me go to another telephone call. Good morning, you're on the air. Connect the dots.
Connect the dots. Hey, morning from Sea, what's up?
I'm good. Blessed. How are you?
Well, you know, I go too. But, you know, when the hurricane hit, you know, we had problem with insurance, right? We had these people saying that they were uninsured. The primary repairs, you were insured for 300,000, 400,000. They came out do some estimates saying, well, I think your payout should be 125,000. People were pissed off, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people went through it. They get the house damaged, regardless if it's flood or whatever you're insured for. Same thing I went through that. And when I hear that if I'm insured for 250,000, well, the roof didn't go, but the damage was a little sustainable to say, well, you could live in a house, you could, blah, blah, blah. You claim this, you claim that, but then you claim,
yeah,
tell you, oh, you could only get 30,000, you could only get 40,000. And I was like, what? And it really getting mad based on what your premium you're paying every year.
Yeah.
Every year for 10 years, 20 years. They make a pile of money and then they come and tell us crap. No, it's kind of impossible or unbelievable to know
that we could 3 years after could have roofs out there with blue roofs, tar, green roof, whatever you have.
Yeah.
And our people, and when you use this word compassion, if you don't have it in your heart, you don't have it. You can't buy it. You have to have something in your heart for your people who vote for you.
Yeah.
But they can only get things in the heart when it comes time for the election. And it's always a problem here in this place. You have to actually go on the radio, say your problem, and then they come up with a solution.
Yeah.
But they need know that people going through this, but they only help their friends who close to them because their friends could see them every day and tell them, no, I going through this. But if you ain't seen them, they ain't going to do nothing for you. How we could still have all these people with blue tops? I got a drone here, but the battery kind of dead. I'll buy the next one, but I'm going to fly it around and I'm going to take pictures, hopefully soon. And people could see, just in the Anna's Retreat area, people who still have tarpaulin on the 3 years?
Yeah. 3 years.
I guess they need 4 more years to do the initiative to get more money because I had a roofing program. All of a sudden they said they had millions of dollars to help people. All of a sudden the roofing program went kaput. But we shouldn't complain. And I noticed, right, I think this is a different topic, but since I had been governor for 4 years, I ain't had a problem. Turnbull was next 8, I ain't had a problem. Dion was next 8 again, that's 20. Map 4, 24. And 3 now this administration, that's 27 years. Are you telling me that I could have a problem not receiving a tax refund that was home for going on 4 years? This is how they run this thing. So when you're here and you start complaining, then they want to fix things. How you can hold somebody and say, oh, you was audited for 3 years. This year's 4 years, me about my tax. But if you go your tax, they will say, well, how come I'm having a problem with this administration to get taxes, and all the time I'm working, nobody never hold my tax. But they get held for 3 years, and this year is 4 years. So what are we doing? We have to complain to get solution and problem fixed.
Yeah.
So we got to wake up in this place, man. And they even talk about, I you mentioned about vaccine and blah, blah, blah. We all have a choice. Either you take it or you don't take it. That's your choice.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear nothing more. But, oh, this person needs it. No, that's your choice.
Yeah, that's
you
your
have
choice.
a choice.
That's your choice.
Either you have God or you pick something else.
Yeah.
It will fight.
Yeah.
But my problem with the vaccine thing right now is that our people are promoting if you're not vaccinated. Why they don't promote is your choice.
Yeah.
Oh, this person ain't vaccinated, so they're going to get the coronavirus. But people who get a shot and they die, they ain't say nothing. People who get the shot and have complications, they ain't say nothing. Well, you should take the shot. Everybody's body is different. If you feel you're going to take the shot and they're going to do good for you, take the shot. If you have a problem, somebody has to coerce you to take it, that's on you. You have a choice. But don't tell me we have a vaccinated area and we have a non-vaccinated area for this event. I don't want to hear that. We all the people, we breathe the same air.
Yeah.
All of us have to die.
Well,
Come on, man.
Yeah. And you know, I'm sitting back and I'm observing everything that is going on. And you see this issue you talk about income tax refunds. I've spoken about this for a long time. I took the government to court. I thought we had it resolved. There was a consent agreement in place. And here it is, years later, this thing resurfacing again, which means that they're not respecting the law, putting the set aside for continuity and ensuring that people get their income tax refunds on time. And I say the continuity because all they would have to do, if you have that 10% set aside, all you have to do is ask the Senate to put under the miscellaneous section of the budget a certain amount of money that they actually do historically to pay income tax refunds, whatever differential may be owed. But they need continuity because every time you delay paying, you have to put taxes, interest onto that
Interest, yeah.
to pay people. So what happens? It accumulates additional debt. So
Exactly.
for the life of me, I don't understand how you could tell someone that everything else is more important than a person's overpayment, meaning their refund. Because not every return filed will wield a refund. But
Exactly.
the folks who overpaid should be paid on time. And then
Yeah, but
then the issue of the housing, and I'm going to bring up this issue again. Armand, the company that had the contract to repair a lot of these homes, I want to see the results of that contract, whether or not it bared fruit, how many homes have been rebuilt, because I understand it was only 4 wooden homes built on St. Croix, none on St. Thomas, none in St. John. What is the performance here of this company, and the legislature needs to weigh in on that? What was the performance? And last but not least, talk about administration being responsible and being compassionate. For the life of me, and I said this years ago, 8% was cut from all them government employees' salary that fell within a certain salary range. And to date, it has not been repaid, and the court proved that it was illegal. And the court proved.
yes, Frontier, you're right. But guess what? The Senate voted to give us back that money in 2021.
Yeah.
Now they want to put it back another year.
Well,
They voted.
they've been putting
It
it
was
back years.
unconstitutional. Yes, it was unconstitutional. I was working police at the time, and they took this money out. They knew it was illegal, and they still did it.
I said it. I
no.
said it publicly several
Come on,
times.
man.
I said it publicly several times. And you know what could potentially happen? What going to potentially happen is, what are you going to say? You're going to give back the government employees their exact 8% with no
So we're going
interest?
to give them interest. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
But it's going to be interesting to see how this all evolves. But I believe they better get it done, and better get it done soon. And I'm saying that it's not a threat. It's a promise. They better get it done
Come on.
soon. That's
Yeah.
unfortunate. And then folks could walk around here who were, in fact, the engineers of the whole thing, who orchestrated the whole thing, could walk around here like nothing. It's fine. Their salary
No,
is
but
going
we
up.
all, we all have to call in and voice how we feel,
Yeah.
or else nothing will be done. But it seems like they don't vote to give us back our money. It looks like they're waiting for certain people to accumulate debt. So we're not responsible for the people who died, but we took their money. So the interest could be theirs or whatever the case may be. But this is how I feel we look at things.
Yeah.
Okay, if 20,000 people got that deduction, okay, if you only got 15,000, we not much. We only got 15, we'll save the rest in our pocket.
Well, they better be
That-
careful. They better be careful not satisfying or addressing these issues, because we don't have civil unrest in the Virgin Islands. We have a different type of residents, people in general, and we are not laid back. And sometimes it takes a lot to prompt us to act, But they better be careful you don't push people to the edge with a lot of the stuff that is taking place in the Virgin Islands. But thanks.
But I could say you're welcome, but I was so frustrated to hear that, the tax is incomplete. For 3 years, they said they added me, right?
Yeah.
And we get no paper, we get no nothing, saying we get added, But they hold my tax for 3 years, this year is 4. And I'm like, well, we are not third world, it's a third world country. We are not United States of America. I said, but something will come up.
Yeah.
I guess I may get it soon now because I'm a mouth on the damn radio.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling. Thanks for your participation. We need to hear
Okay,
from
bless.
residents. Okay? You have a blessed day.
Yeah, okay, bless. Yeah.
Yeah, folks are very, very getting very frustrated with this whole process. With just lack of services, lack of compassion, and it has to change. Because if it doesn't change, what is the comfort to residents who feel that their lives are being placed in peril? What is the comfort to them? what is the hope? People are going to lose hope, because if they're not seeing any relief coming from any side, it's like the walls closing in on you. And, you know, for those, like I said, for a lot of residents who are on fixed income, especially retirees, the elderly people who only have one income, whether it's Social Security or a retirement, or it's just one of those, and their cost of living is increasing for them, but they're not seeing any relief in terms of adjustments that would bring or control that cost of living or rising cost of living. And it goes on, and we can only hope that, like I said, I want to keep hope. I want to keep hope alive. Me personally, whatever contribution I could make, I will make. But I see that there is a need for a level of compassion for Virgin Islanders, that they could see some form of relief, because this thing is getting tough. Nothing is going down in terms of costs. Everything is going up. And salaries are not rising in tandem or in sync with the rising cost of living here in the Virgin Islands. So if you let it continue on the course that it's on, there might be a time where a lot of Virgin Islanders can't even afford to live here. And that's something that I don't want to see. This is my home. I don't plan to go anywhere. I will remain home. And as long as I have a voice, I'm going to provide that voice for the voiceless, because ain't every person that is comfortable in calling a radio station to express themselves. But I'm sure there are many of you out there in your homes that some of the subjects that we touched on this morning, you have witnessed something that affected you in the most negative way, and you want things to change. We all want things to change. I see my neighbors, I see my friends, I see family, I see persons that on a daily basis that express themselves that they're hurt by something that is going on. I know a lady that her home is in total disrepair. She could not afford to pay her insurance, and she took a gamble. She decided that she would ride through hurricane after hurricane season until those infamous hurricanes came along, Irma and Maria, that destroyed her home. And to this date, she has not been able to get her home back up to par. Things has got to change. We have to see, when we talk about public administration, that there's a greater level of compassion for Virgin Islanders. A lot of us are not seeing it, and that's a dangerous thing. So let me just take a little sidestep here, folks, for a second, just to recognize the sponsors, the persons or the businesses that make it possible for me to be on the air every Monday morning. Getting a challenge right here this morning. But I was just trying to play one of the sponsors' commercials here this morning for you guys, but we're down to the bottom of the hour anyway. And I've paid their commercial a couple times already. And, we are here at the junction now. I know this morning we discussed banking and insurance, and of course, callers brought up all types of different subjects here this morning. But for those of you who live abroad and still have a vested interest in the Virgin Islands, I'm quite sure that you tune in to hear the latest topics, and also to hear from your peers here in the Virgin Islands express themselves on a number of vexing issues that confront them perhaps on a daily basis. And it's just we want to believe that things are going to get better, as I indicated. And if I could try to restore any level of hope for Virgin Islanders in any way, that I try to do. But here we are. On this Monday morning, again, I just want to say to each and every one of you to stand firm, be encouraged. I know that this is challenging times because as we even drive around our infrastructure, we're not seeing any significant improvement. A road paved here, a road paved there. But what about our schools? What about our hospitals? What about all the essential services that are due and owing to tax-paying citizens? Because these general service you're deserving of. And we want to always believe that a government can be responsive, that a government can be proactive and not just reactive. Because every single time a crisis comes up, what you hear is what? They're responding to the crisis. We have a lot of issues. There are, in fact, crises that are coexisting, that are existing out there on a daily basis. But until someone put it under magnifying glass or try to magnify it in some way, it does not become an issue that is relevant. Let's hope that we go in to a new year, 2022, with a new promise to see things get better, to see things improve, to see that the quality of life in the Virgin Islands is encouraging to Virgin Islanders who have left for that very reason, that they would want to come back home, to see how home has evolved and seem to be encouraging to them, that they would want to come back, and if they don't have any property, buy property home, to own a piece of the rock. Because people are coming from everywhere else to own a piece of the rock. Are they seeing something that we're not seeing? No. They see everything that we see every day. They recognize the value of the Virgin Islands. The Virgin Islands, pristine, its beauty is what they see. Its tranquility is what they see. Its hospitable people is what they see. So let's make the Virgin Islands more encouraging for us, first and foremost. So folks, thank you guys for tuning in this morning. This is Connect the Dots with Adler Fonsi Donistorg. I'm on every Monday from 10 to 11 a.m. And of course, I release the subject matter that I'm going to discuss for the following week on social media. But I also will start announcing it on the radio from time to time, what next week's topic is going to be. So have a blessed day and a productive week. God bless every one of you.